What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with an all new episode of Family or Fiancé. Let's get into it. So, Tiffany and Ayatollah, they met on a dating website. He slid in her DMs, and they've been together ever since. We don't know the exact date of their relationship, but their relationship pretty much started off hot and heavy, I would say. And then Ayatollah said he's been in a lot of toxic relationships, so him being in this relationship with Tiffany is something brand new, and he wants it to be fresh, clean, and supportive on all aspects. Something he's never had before. He's never had someone who cares for me the way that she does, and I've never felt this way about another woman before. And finding out partial of their issues, Ayatollah and Tiffany's mother did not get along because when he proposed, he did not ask her mother for her hand in marriage. He did not include her into the process of the proposal. And that's pretty much where the distance between them have left off. So they get to the house. Tracy congratulates them on the engagement. And then they were asked about their first date. How did they meet? Dating website, they had a movie date, and Tiffany said it was perfect. We just talked and talked, and it was perfect. Tracy said perfect is a strong word to describe your courtship. It is perfect. Is like, you really think it's that perfect, but I've said, me and my husband's first date was amazing. It was everything. It was pretty much the start of where we are now. I believe I said perfect a few times, but of course not everything is perfect, but just from that moment alone. And it was asked, how long did it take you to propose? 8 weeks. So they were dating for 2 months when he proposed. And there were no friends, no family there. It was a sudden got on one knee. The video that they showed didn't show him putting the ring on her finger. It showed him getting down, but she put the ring on herself. But like I said, that was pretty much the start of the friction between her mother and him because he did not ask for her hand in marriage and he did not include her. And a lot of their family members feel like they don't know what's going on in their lives because they don't come around. All they do is catch up on social media. That's all they can do. So when it comes to her mother practically lives 20 seconds away from her. They have done everything together: birthdays, holidays, celebrations, vacation trips. And it's been a lot. It's been over 2 years, almost 2 years since he proposed. So they've been in a full relationship for the last two. Well, they were dating for 2 months, got engaged, and have been engaged and in a relationship for 2 whole years. So they also have a blended family. They each have children. I don't know who his children's names were, but I did hear her son's name. Then her son's name was Jordan. He has two children, I do believe by different women, and she has one son. And when asked, do you guys live with your children? She said her son lives with her. But for him, I couldn't understand what he said. My subtitles on the screen said parenting center. I don't know what that meant. But later down the line, it goes to show he does not have, his kids does not live with him. I don't even think he has any type of standard agreement as to what his visitation, custodial agreement. I don't think he has anything like that, to be honest. Like, he just automatically gave me the feeling of he's not in his kids' lives. He's not. And when it came down to blending, how did you get along with the kids? She gets along great with his children. One of the oldest ones called her mom. For her son, it was a little rough in the beginning because, her son probably didn't trust him, didn't find him appealing, like just gave him the cold shoulder. Um, so yeah. Okay, yeah, so we're talking about, do you guys want to have children together? And Tiffany says she don't. I think she says she don't due to the fact that he does have other children scattered and they're not in the same home, and they are about to start a business together and they are about to be a newlywed couple, so they want to have that strain. He said he wants to have children because he wants to be able to have the kids living with them. He wants to be able to be a full-time father, how they live in the home and they wake up, see daddy and mommy every day, but then it makes me look at, you mean tell me you don't have a type of presence in your other kids' lives because they don't live with you? I don't know, just the way that he kept on, putting emphasis on being another father, but being a full time father, as if you can't be a full time father without being in a relationship with the mother. You can still be present. Yeah, the kids might have separate homes, but you can still be present fully. That had me a little lost. So then, Tracy thought that they're trying to compromise on bringing a baby into the situation is not going to make the situation better. And considering the fact that, while she's saying she doesn't, you're saying it's not the end of the world, but yet you explain how you want to be a full time father, you want your kids to live with you. I don't know how this is going to work. But then we bring up religious beliefs. He grew up Muslim, she grew up Christian. And we're now talking about certain things that they're trying to compromise and bring into the relationship. He wants her to not celebrate Christmas. And he's trying to have her understand how he grew up and how he didn't celebrate certain holidays and how he wants her to just conform and agree to not celebrate it. But yet she's lived her whole entire life celebrating Christmas, celebrating Halloween, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Memorial Day. Like, she has celebrated all holidays you can think of. And now she's with you. You want her to just stop all that altogether. How? And you're not even giving an inch of trying to understand where she's coming from. You're just telling her, this is not what I want, so just do it. And of course, it's like, why would you get involved with a woman who celebrates holidays? If that was the case, and we're still in the conversation of her conforming, but I don't think Tiffany ever agreed that she will conform to Muslim. I don't think she would have. I don't think we're told that, because at the same time, while trying to understand your religious beliefs and give you inch and give you a way of having that expressed and open, you're not giving hers. You know what I'm saying? Because is Christmas the only holiday you don't want it to be celebrated on due to your beliefs? But that's still not fair. Like I said, she's celebrated all her life. You mean to tell me for her to get married to you, you want her to stop celebrating something that she celebrated forever, and then her son has also been a part of the celebration to the next generation? And she's kind of like, I want to decorate my house. I want it to be festive. I want it to be colorful. But then, of course, you're telling me to stop what I've always done, but you want to bring in threesomes. I said, where the hell did that come from? I'm like, whoa, time out, time out. We're talking about not celebrating Christmas, and now we're talking about how he wants to bring in threesomes into the marriage. Whoa. So I'm like, Tracy, where the hell did that come from? It's going on and on. But then he feels like it's a difference of wants and opinions, because it's not that different that you want to celebrate Christmas and I don't, but I want to partake in threesomes and you're not doing that. But Tracy felt like that's not really, like, that's not really meshing. You're trying to have her not celebrate a holiday that's been around for decades over a romp, over something that's not even in the Bible, something that's not even solidified as what she's supposed to do. She's not supposed to at some point in a marriage say, okay, husband will have a threesome, go ahead and do it. I don't know. And he, like, pretty much he wants her to give it to what he wants. And that's supposed to be not celebrating Christmas and opening to have a threesome. But that's not cool. And then he's talking about homeschooling, because we want about their parenting styles. And how do you go about parenting? He wants his kids to be homeschooled, and he wants her to stay home, but she's not doing that. There's a lot of things that are being out in the open that were not talked about before. I don't know if this was the entire conversation y'all had throughout the 2-year courtship. Like, I want to know. Then we're going on to the different parenting styles. Tiffany is traditional, while Ayatollah is non-traditional, apparently. So then we get to their tasks: tire of truth and most important. So we get to the family meeting. On Tiffany's side, we got her mother Kimberly, her sister Jayla, and her aunt Catherine. On Ayatollah's side, we got his best friend Demetrius and Tadani. He had a brother that was supposed to make it but didn't show up. So the concerns on her family was pretty much, why did you ask my sister to marry you so soon, and why haven't you included my mother in the process of your relationship, let alone when you did not ask my mother for her hand in marriage. Then we get to Ayatollah's family. or friends. Pretty much, you guys have been absent throughout the whole time y'all been dating. We don't know what's going on with you. You guys don't come around for family events. You guys don't hang out because Demetrius and Ayatollah have been friends for over 20 years. And he said we hung out a lot recently, but kind of ceased once he started hanging out with Tiffany. And I want to know what stopped that. And Tadai's concern is blending the family. Want you to engage with the family members so you don't look as an outsider. So we get to the task. Most important. So Ayatollah has a board of what most important. It was family, finance, career. Family, finance, career. What I write? Family, finance, career. Children and monogamy. Monogamy was 5th on the list, way at the end. Kind of like how last episode, where what's his name? Monogamy was 2nd to last. I'm like, okay. Oh, because he cheated. Yeah, that's why. So we're going on to most important. But then Ayatollah said he grew up in a big family, close-knit family, and he wants it to continue, but yet nobody from your family is here. We got best friends. Best friends are like your family, but there are no blood relatives. Why aren't any members of your family here? So he said he doesn't interact with them due to his beliefs. He feels like his spirituality and way he views the world and how he doesn't want to, I would say, imbalance that with hanging around other people who he says don't want to elevate and move on and move up in life. But I feel like you mean tell me you're going to cast people off because they don't conform to the way you're thinking? Well, how you think is how you think. That's you. But if someone has a debate that that's not what they're going to do, you shouldn't write it off as if they're going to stay where they're at. They're going to stay stuck. They're not going to move. They're not going to elevate. They're not going to be a success. Like, you can't write that off on someone who doesn't agree about what your life is or what your goals are. You can't do that. So he pretty much, distance himself. He doesn't want to waste his time with other people who don't see life or don't see the world the way he sees it. That's not good to do. That's not good to have. So the whole thing about does he have a relationship with her son? They said it was rocky in the middle, but they progressed. They progressed and they have, gone to a better place. So, where am I at? Yeah, basically, like, the son was pretty much, leery against Ayatollah. Probably didn't trust him. So, while going back to the most important, her mother, Catherine, is still going through the same thing. Why haven't, I'm going to have to keep on redoing this. I'm sorry, you guys, again. Basically, in a nutshell, for what the proposal was. The distance between them, I don't know. Ayatollah thought he was laughing and joking by checking the mother by saying, I know you're not lying to these people that I did include you in the process of proposing to your daughter. She said, I don't know what you mean. And they didn't find it funny that he literally came out of his mouth and said, Mommy, I know you're not lying to these people. What you mean? She said, all you did was call me about her ring size. And I didn't even know you're in the process of buying a ring. That's the thing. There was no communication as to you were even thinking at that point of proposing to my daughter, which supposed to lead to the conversation of, can I have your daughter's hand in marriage? So he just felt like I thought me asking for her ring size would have painted that, would have given that opening of he's about to propose to him. No, it didn't. And my husband and my brother-in-law have contacted my father to ask for me and my sister's hand in marriage. Even though they were already in the process of proposing, they still went out and be respectful and came out in a traditional way by asking for our hand in marriage. So it was just the conversation did not completely came in detail of how the process went. So, listen, he's like, listen, I'm in love with your daughter. Yeah. And I also want, all that stuff, yeah. He thought it was pretty much saying it all at once with him asking for her ring size. Like, I'm in love with your daughter. I want to ask for her hand in marriage. I'm going to buy a ring. Then, while his best friends are playing Tower of Truth with Tiffany, she's pulling out. She's guessing of where to go. Pulling out the blocks to find out what question they were asking, but I don't know. His friends literally was in the mindset of playing Jenga, and when she pulled it out from the bottom, the whole tower came off. I thought they built it, I thought they, get the blocks and then they build the tower as they're getting to the truth. I know they literally. I don't remember if they actually placed it in the form of Jenga. So I was kind of looking like, I don't think this is funny that you guys are in the mindset of playing Jenga when we're trying to get to the truth. You're trying to get to know one of your good friends is fiance as to why they're getting married right now. That's what you need to know, right? So I don't know why you guys are playing. So then if you had to give her Christmas, would you? She said no. I'll probably give her the belief of Santa Claus. I probably won't put Santa Claus around, but as far as like, I want to have snow, I want to have winter, I want to have sleighs, reindeers. I want to still enjoy the festivities of Christmas. It doesn't necessarily have to be the theme, but I can still want to enjoy the winter time of it. What's gonna happen if you guys was to have a child? Obviously Tiffany's used to doing things her way. She's used to, going about her parenting her way. She doesn't stop, and that's how she's been. He wants her to take more of a feminine role in their relationship, which means staying home with the kids, aka teaching them, cleaning them, watching them, because he wants to have a homeschool as well. And the aunt pretty much, said in a nutshell. So basically, you want her barefoot and pregnant while you go out with a spear and bring a bear and bring a saber-tooth tiger at home to cook. You know what I'm saying? This caveman weird like cult mentality that you have going on. Like you want her to take in more of your beliefs that a woman's supposed to stay home and clean and watch the babies. Again, this is 2021. Right now, there are multiple women who can do it all. Can be a mother, can be a wife, can be a homebody, can be a caregiver, can take care of home and work. I don't know what's going on with these men that are trying to put a pause on women in the workplace. What is the problem? It's probably coming to the point where I don't know if Ayatollah feels intimidated by Tiffany, because I think Tiffany works or has her own business. But the fact that Ayatollah has this belief that a woman's place should be in the kitchen, in the home, where there's a whole lot of shit to get done. But what's the point of you guys is creating this life if you want to be the main one that has to be provided? I don't know. It's kind of like it's kind of like you think that a woman's place in the world is to just stand behind you and just agree with you and just say yes, master. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. And of course, they didn't like that. But then, of course, he's also talking about he wants to invest in land and and then also be recognized by the state that they're in a common law marriage. Why do you want the state to recognize you as a common law marriage couple, but yet you are proposing to her to get married? But then he doesn't believe that a marriage license or marriage certificate solidifies anything. He thinks that's a piece of paper. That's not what our energy, that's not what our life is. That's not what our presence is. Our presence are more than what they said on paper. We are presented in a world where we're more than that. You can't just look at what I have on paper. You have to look at me. Okay, I'm sorry, but in today's world, you could be a stand-up person. You could be nice. You could be giving. You give money to the homeless. But if what we're seeing doesn't match what's on paper, or if you don't have any collateral, any equity, any good credit, we don't give a damn how good of a person you are. We got to find out what's going on paper so we can trust you with the shit that we going to give you. But then he feels like wherever state that they're going to get married at, that means the man holds more power over the marriage. And then the aunt, the mom, and the sister were like, what the fuck you mean, hold more power? You guys are supposed to be a united front. You guys are supposed to be one, equal. There is no one holds more power than the other. And if you're trying to marry my niece, then you need to make sure that her needs are met as much as you want yours as well. So you mean tell me that you don't want to think that the marriage certificate means something to Tiffany as well? You think that she's going to look at it as just a piece of paper? No. She's going to look at this as a stamp on this is how we are in this world. We're now married. We're now one. Okay. So then the whole thing with threesomes. She said, hell no. Tiffany said, hell no. So it was asked by Ayatollah, has he been faithful to Tiffany since they've been together? He said he's never stepped out. He's never tempted to step out, but they've been talking about threesomes, and he knows that it makes her uncomfortable. The mom was like, you damn right I do, because that's a no. She's not doing that. Family dinner. So they're talking about the task, and Ayatollah felt like things were out in the open, but the aunt clarified by saying, I believe that what we saw was you don't really have a full definition of what a family is. He keeps on saying we want to bring family together, come together, build together, protect each other. But obviously, there's been some issues here. You don't have a good relationship from this point on with her son. Even though you keep saying it's been progressing, I mean, it's been a hard ass progress. It probably hasn't gone more than just him recognizing your name. Him just, seeing you there. I don't think he feels like he's comfortable enough to talk to you, give advice. I don't think he's at that point. And that's what the best friend said. Demetrius feel like I think you guys need to focus on what the children are at this moment. You guys need to focus on how you guys can make them comfortable and understand how this is going to work. So then Ayatollah don't like this conversation, so he moves on trying to find something else to get off his issues and off his back. So he talks about the threesomes. No, he wants the conversation to be over about how he needs to make this work. So the mom said, "Cool. What about this threesome? Because this ain't gonna work. Like I know she's grown and all, but this ain't gonna work." Like I love the fact that the mom said that because it's not like she's saying my daughter can't make her own decisions, but the way that this is being presented, I don't see how you're trying to also have her conform to how you believe and also have her pretty much automatically conforming to having a threesome if she's been saying this entire time she does not want it. Why aren't you listening to her? She's not going to change her mind. I don't know, you feel like once you guys say you do, then that means that she has no say so. She has no debate to say, I don't want to do that. Bump that shit. A woman still has a right to say yes or no to anything she wants to do. She still has that right, and you as a man need to respect that. So then, we're talking about Christmas. Because he wanted to switch off that conversation again. And she said, whether or not I give it up because there's not a lot of things that make me happy, but I would like to still decorate my home, do gifts exchange, hang out with my family. I would still like to do it. But then he pops up and says, how is that you could pick a holiday or choose a holiday that makes you happy when I'm the one that's your Santa Claus? I'm the one that makes you happy. Why are you talking about a holiday that makes you happy and it's not me? I'm the one that's supposed to help us elevate and move up. I'm like, Christmas isn't about you. I don't give a damn if you are the one buying the gifts. Thank you, appreciative, that's what you're supposed to do. But I'm not going to use the entire month of December praising and bowing to you that you bought all this gift for us. That's not exactly what Christmas is about. Christmas is about spending time with family, hanging out, making more memories, making more things, making more of a goal that we're going to pursue into the new year. That's what Christmas is about. Christmas isn't about isn't about kissing your ass and thank you for the shit you bought, which you're supposed to fucking do. I said, I know he is not trying to compare Christmas as the way that's making him look like he's the fucking God. He's the king. If it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have Christmas. Boy, goodbye. So the mom is trying to is wondering why are you trying to have her change into something that you already know she's not going to do. She's been celebrating these holidays for years, and you're trying to have her switch it up in one setting and saying, we're not celebrating that. That's final. No. You know where she stood in this, and yet you're still trying to change her mind. But then he feels like it's a contradictory of how they both have presented each other while they were dating. Like she's been open, she's been trying to understand him, and he felt like he was the same way. But I feel like it's been mostly Tiffany breaking her back more than you are, because what you have given to try to understand where she's coming from. Why aren't you understanding how she feels about celebrating holidays? Why aren't you understanding how she feels about not having a threesome? You're not giving no understanding. You're not giving no space to understand where she's coming from because you don't want to. You wanted it to be all about you, your way or the highway, and that's not how it goes. So then we're talking about how he doesn't believe a piece of paper solidifies what they are. She said, I beg to differ because when my husband died, I was glad I had that marriage license because his family tried to come in and take over, try to make final decision, but they had no say so because I'm the wife. I'm the one that signed on that dotted line. I have the final say of what to do when it comes to my husband's decisions when he's now passed. I do. So you don't want her to have a final say. You don't want her to be a part of what's going to happen if something was to happen to you. If something was to need another agreement or another decision, you want to fall on her as well. It can't always be about you making decisions and you think that you know what's right for everybody when you don't. So then birth certificates. He don't want he has children that was registered, that was born, but yet he feels like I'm not going to do that if we have a kid. I'm not going to have a get a social security card. They're not going to be born in the hospital. They're going to be born at home. They're going to be raised at home, and they're going to learn from home. They're not going to need to know anything else around this world other than what I'm going to tell them. And that's crazy. That's crazy. That's cultish. It gave me polygamy. It gave me Amish. Crazy. Crazy. So I'm like, you don't want your child to have an identity when they're born? He pretty much said, I'm going to tell what my child's going to be. I want my child to have a job. I want my child to be her own boss. Okay, but your child needs to have an identity in this world for him to do that. He can't just say, I want to have a business. He can't just say, I want to sell shoes without having proper paperwork or identity so he can sell it. He can't just sell it without having paperwork, without having identity. He can't do that. I want them to be free. And then, okay, so say Tiffany agrees with not having the kid born in the hospital. There are a lot of home births. That's totally fine and natural. So what if you need a midwife? What happens with that midwife? I don't need a midwife. I'm going to deliver my own child. No, the fuck you not. They was like, no, he gonna YouTube it, go online, and find somebody else to do it because he's not going to do that. Oh my God, like this man is crazy. Crazy. So obviously we're still lost on what can the government do to us. Why should we fear the government? And he's not giving one thing. Okay, the government taxes like crazy. That's the government. They take taxes out everything that we get. When we get paid, they take all of the taxes that needs that money. We get billed. We get sued. We get owed. Like, that's the one thing that the government does. But the government does not control how we live our life. The government does not tell us how to wake up in the morning. It does not tell us how we need to wash our hands, wash our face, eat what we should eat. The government does not do that. We have our own free will to live our life the way that we want to. But in order for us to move up and be a success, we have to also go to the government. We have to go to banks to get a loan to create a business. We got to go to the mortgage, go to the bank to get a home loan. We have to go to realtors. We have to have all types of information about ourselves to be perceived as what we can do into this world. We have to. We're not going to say, can we buy this $500,000 home with no money, no equity, no credit, but we are a good judge of character. We are a human. We are a good people. No. We're not going to get by just saying we're good people. That's not going to work. Then, of course, he wants her to study his ways and how his way is the best way. No. So, of course, again, we're trying to understand what is the government doing to us that we cannot do it. The best friend said, tell me one thing about what the government does. You can't tell me, that's why these people are questioning. You can't get upset because they don't know what the hell you're talking about. And let's go back to Christmas. And the whole marriage license, how a paper doesn't solidify what they are. Great, fine. Then that means you guys can't do nothing without marriage license. They can't just say you guys are approved for this business loan if you guys are not a married couple. Anything that has to do with y'all being married, they're going to want to know where the paperwork behind it. You can't just tell we're married by looking at us. No, I can't. So then the best friend, he says, well, I understand where you're coming from, but yet I still celebrate Christmas, my dude, because my daughter likes to celebrate Christmas. So why aren't you giving an inch to her? Because from where I'm hearing, she's giving up more to be with you than you are to her, which is the truth. All we've been hearing is how Tiffany needs to do this. Tiffany needs to do this. Tiffany needs to do this. I haven't heard nothing about Ayatollah needs to do this, because the whole thing he keeps on talking about is what his beliefs are and what his beliefs is the best for everybody to understand and get along with. No. Not gonna happen. Then he's talking about how his children, I think he pretty much wrote away his rights of being a parent because he did not want to become middle ground. He did not want to be in middle ground with his beliefs on raising his children than the mothers of his child, because obviously he had no say so, or his stupid ass beliefs of not baptizing his child did not be understood, did not be, okay, we'll do it. So the mother baptized her anyway. Her mother teaches her about Christmas, teaches her about a whole lot of things, and yet he still is upset that he's not privy. But I feel like you withdrew your rights from being a parent because nobody was bowing down to be with your beliefs. So she said she got full custody. I had no knowledge of it. Probably because how you were acting right now. Because nobody's agreeing to how you believe, that's writing everybody off. You saying, fuck that. If I'm not, if you're not going to conform with what I'm believing, I'm writing you off, which is what you did. You withdrew your rights from your children because the mothers did not want to conform you in your way. And you did not want to give an inch to understand their ways where you guys can both be able to be a participant in y'all kids' lives. You withdrew that right. No, 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 no. So basically, it's kind of like, um, you don't have to come across like that. You don't have to. And like, you don't have to come across loud and angry to get your point across. You don't. So we get to day 2. We're talking about the task. Tiffany felt like she was honest in her response, but for Ayatollah, hey y'all, I'm sorry, my camera's acting wonky. Let me see if I can finish it in a nutshell. So basically, we day 2. Ayatollah still feels like his beliefs are the main beliefs, and it's not going good. And the whole thing with the monogamy, well, being last, and how she doesn't cheat on, he doesn't want to cheat on her, but when he wants to have a space, or he wants to be in a moment where he wants to relive his temptation, he wants her to do it with him, but she doesn't want to. Tiffany is not comfortable with the idea of inviting someone in their marriage, but that's not what she's about. But then she still contradicts herself by saying if she's gonna do it, it's not gonna be an ongoing thing. Tiffany, you've been steadfast on not doing this threesome. Now you're saying you have an opening, an inkling. No, stand firm in it, and he's gonna have to eat that shit. Marriage license. He don't feel like it makes sense because the end of that dinner, or was it this dinner that's coming up? Oh yeah, it's this dinner. Um, the whole thing about not having a license to certify their child. Come on now, it's stupid. Your child won't have an identity at some point. But then talking about how I don't want my child to go in that way. I'm trying to break away from the system, and I want us to be able to invest in land so we can grow our own food, drink our own water. We ain't got to worry about any other outside sources. Ding, 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 cult leader. You're trying to create a space where it blocks everything else out that's supposed to help you, but yet you feel like you don't need that help. You know everything, so you don't need that. Co-leader, that's terrifying. You have a whole lot of controlling issues that needs to be addressed, because this is not going to work. And your lifestyle in space, so you pretty much cast away everybody who does not believe in your way. Hence why ain't nobody of your family here, because since they're not agreeing with your way, you saying fuck you, you're not my family then. And I feel like Tiffany is in a space where she wants you to stay, but she still wants to be adamant to her beliefs. But I think Tiffany is suffering from low self-esteem, to be honest. She's not an ugly woman. She's very beautiful, but I believe she feels like she's not going to find another man that's going to be like this for her. That's not true, Tiffany. You need to think higher of yourself. You should not have to belittle yourself to be with this man. This man don't see it for you. That's why he's constantly talking about a threesome. I think he loves what you do for him. I think he loves what you care for him. But as far as like him constantly putting another woman in front of you for him to want to have sex with you, I don't know. It's still weird on how he probably is still sexually attracted. He probably is sexually attracted to Tiffany, but there's something else that's still that wants to satisfy. He wants to find another woman that's pretty much going to be what he wants, but not something that he's going to. I don't know. It's weird to me. Um. Yep, I already said that. So then we're having a picnic outside because they need to understand where Ayatollah is coming from, because that outburst wasn't necessary. Tiff needs to write her boundaries. So he forms an apology with the aunt and the mother, but I honestly felt like he just wanted to say he was sorry because he didn't want the heat on him, but yet he still wanted to make sure people saw it through his lenses of what he wanted them to understand. Listen, in the day, no matter how many times you slice it, how many times you explain it, we still don't want it. We still don't understand. And we still don't like it. So that should be dead. Just because we don't respect, because we don't understand your beliefs, doesn't mean we're not going to try to see where your beliefs are. We don't go that way. And difference of opinions need to be respected. And I just feel like the entire time he just wanted them to see what he was going through, not what he did not want to see how they saw. Because the whole thing about how you don't want my daughter to have a marriage license, you want her to conform to your beliefs, you want her to confess in the threesome, but she keeps saying no and no and no, and you're not giving an answer what she want to know or what she wants to hear. You're not doing that. Same thing with Christmas, and yeah, check away from everything she's been knowing. And at that outburst, it shocked the mother because she wants to know what her daughter got into. This is afraid. This is the first time you've outburst like that. He said, no, I've had plenty of outbursts with other people, but never like that. Still alarming. So dinner, his upbringing. He was teased and bullied based off his name and his beliefs. So he grew up knowing more about the history and how it divided us with the different religions. And he doesn't want to be separated. He wants us to be together and united. But he wants us to be in a peaceful environment where we can make our own traditions and our own lives, but that's totally fine. But you're not giving an inch of what Tiffany wants to do. You keep on talking about you. So then, the mom just wants to know you can handle, you can raise my daughter. You can love my daughter, be with my daughter before I go, that's fine. And he said, I want you to have a relationship with us. I want us to have a relationship with each other. I want us to be as close as I wish my mother and I was. Something else is missing in the story because he keeps on saying he had a close family, yet they're not here. Something happened. So then Tiffany set her boundaries. She said, first of all, I don't like to be labeled as a stay-at-home wife because that's not me. I'm a very independent woman. I've had my own money for years. I've been my own boss. I don't like the fact that you say it's your way or the highway. We need to make decisions together and do it our way. And don't make me seem as if I don't have a choice when I do. Then that's when he put this whole life partner, you're not my wife, you're my life partner shit. A piece of paper don't dictate how I feel about you bullshit. Yeah, I already said that. So day 3, formal apology about how not including her into the proposal process. Tiffany talked about her boundaries, and if you disagree, that's fine. They decided to put threesomes on the back burner for right now, but they want to take a celibate approach of fulfilling a satisfying need if they want to spice up their beds or spice up their sex life. She said, make me feel good without sex. Sex is a temporary fix, but okay. Christmas, decorate how you want to, whatever. Everybody says yes, I guess. But they're going to revisit marriage within 6 months because they still got some issues to work on, as we can see. And if they still need to work on a relationship, there won't be a rush to marriage, but they'll still be together. Okay, final part. So after they're going to revisit, we're pretty much doing what Ayatollah wants to do, which is stay in a common law marriage with no forms of getting married altogether to be Ayatollah, whatever. So update, they plan to get married on October 2022. They still compromise about their beliefs and setting boundaries. He is still interested in threesomes, and the whole marriage license became up for discussion, aka I don't want to get married to you. I don't want to be legally married to you. I just want to be perceived as a married couple without the laws or be legally binded. I don't want that because I still want to fuck other females, and the guys that we're married, we're open. He wants to be in an open marriage, basically. He wants a polygamous relationship without saying, I want a polygamous relationship. Okay, that was it, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Sorry. Let me calm down. I'm just trying to hurry up and finish this because I'm tired of my camera cutting off. But that's it, you guys. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for the next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.